601, Chris and Cheryl coming later. All right, I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from October 9th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from October 9th, 2018, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I think we have some deletions, at least one.
Yeah, I'd like to remove under new business the health insurance plan selection discussion until after we begin discussing budget. Is there anything else that needs to be added or removed?
We don't have anything from Foster's yet.
No?
Nope.
Did you get anything from Fairfield?
Nope.
They're gonna call.
Okay, so if there's nothing else, then let's move on.
That's the truck contract under highway.
So are we removing it?
You can, there's something to talk about. We don't have a proposal.
Okay, so we don't have any?
We don't have any paperwork, so.
So let's go ahead and remove the truck contract then.
I'm sorry, they both don't.
And under new business, health plan.
All right. And then moving on to warrants, wherever they are.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 1, payroll, amount of $9,015.21.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying payroll warrant number 1 in the amount of $9,015.21 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 2, payroll taxes in the amount of $3,438.33.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying payroll tax warrant number 2 in the amount of $3,438.33 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 3 in the amount of $13,248.26.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 3 in the amount of $13,248.26 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 4 out of the general fund in the amount of $13.19.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
It's the listers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We have not gotten a job description yet, is that correct?
Nope. Nothing today.
Okay.
All right, so all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 4 in the amount of $13.19 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll vote in the negative. The motion's defeated.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 6 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $2,512.79.
You said number 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6.
No, we're
No, number 5. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Make a motion to pay check warrant number 5 in the amount of $10,720.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 5 in the amount of $10,720 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Did you vote, Rob?
I won with the ayes.
Oh, okay. The motion passes.
Yes. Make a motion to pay check warrant number 6 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $2,512.79.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying equipment fund warrant number 6 in the amount of $2,512.79 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 7 out of the highway fund in the amount of $270.64.
No.
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 7 in the amount of $270.64 signify by saying aye.
I got you.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 8 out of the highway fund in the amount of $2,947.60.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I think there is on asphalt. Were you able to clear up anything on that
Yes.
paperwork?
They were supposed to, I actually called them up and Craig beat me to it already, and they said they took care of everything, so.
I didn't get anything, they've got my email address, they didn't send anything through, they didn't
So
call.
they're supposed
fax.
to, sorry, they were supposed to send it to you, not me. So.
Yeah, they didn't call, they didn't fax, they have the fax number. I did call on that, because I just, back when, because you weren't there, and I didn't want to leave a message on the machine, but anyway, okay. No.
Well, was it the correct amount? Is it not the correct amount? Is it, what was the resolution?
The resolution was, they said, I talked to the woman, and it must have been 3.5 tons or whatever that we got, and she said, well, I'll send the paperwork. So I already spoke with Mr. Hunt from the town office, and she was gonna send him the bill. I don't know, we got a full load of, not a full load, but we got a big load of coal patch.
And how much does that weigh?
If you, yeah, see, if you look on the internet, that's the only way I can tell, because sometimes it has water down. It usually runs about 35 to 4,000 pounds a yard,
Okay, so how many yards did you get?
like 6 or 7.
Because the 14 potentially could be correct.
Could be correct, but they had the wrong tear weight on
Right.
the truck. So I don't know. So
How did they get the wrong tear weight on the truck?
look on the paperwork I got.
It's there, it's the very back.
The truck, we have a written tear weight down for the trucks that average around 23,000. It's on our whiteboard in the shop there.
Well,
They're almost 24,000 pounds.
they said the truck was, keep going, they said the truck was 3.3 ton.
Right.
So
We-
600 pounds.
We
for
have
the truck.
nothing that weighs. Even our small truck is like 12.5 thousand pounds. 6.5 tons.
Okay, so I'm assuming then we just don't pay this until we get some corrected paperwork of some kind?
Right, she spoke with him and spoke with us something.
Okay.
Should we amend the warrant to?
Yeah, I thought she sent it in.
Haven't received anything, and like I say, I just saw the tear weight, and because historically, we only get 3.5, 4.5 tons. You usually go over them with a truck and you pick up, whatever you need, just do some
No, that
piles.
was the one we took.
Yeah, okay.
We
In any case.
never take one. But anyways, they load it with a big loader. They have to go with one corner of the bucket, then go with the other corner of the bucket, because their buckets are huge. So you never know what you're gonna get, so, like the PO. I made the PO out, when he came back, I put the amount on that he told me.
Okay, so the amended amount for that warrant, if we remove that, we can clarify it, would be $1,300.80. So would someone like to amend the motion to that amount?
And move to amend highway warrant number 8 to the amount of $1,300.80.
Second.
All right. So, is there any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the amended warrant, highway warrant number 8, in the amount of $1,300.80, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. All right. Then, moving on to the highway report. Go ahead.
Okay, T2, it broke down on the road, on myself and Ed the other day, we were chipping a tree that came down. And we towed it up to the garage, it would idle. The belt broke on it because the air conditioning condenser and pulley seized up on it. And there's no way I'm gonna do that in our garage without a lift. It's tucked underneath, I'm not gonna do it. So anyways, called Twin State, they towed it, I called DJ's record service, and they towed it down to Twin State to do the job. They should have it done by Thursday. I did order sand, it'll be coming next week, because we gotta get sand in the shed. We need to order salt, and we already have the bid on that, or the price on that from the state. We have to order chains. I called up a couple other towns, and they've all gone with BB chain. Last year, Keith Hazard went with another manufacturer from Paul Harvey, he sells us grater blades and stuff like that. Tried another manufacturer. They're never going to go with that again. They couldn't even get a storm through one storm with a set of chains. So they're going back to P-WAG. New Fane's going with P-WAG. So just touch some other peeps. We'll see what they're doing. Some trucks need tires.
So what's the style chain? Is it a V-bar or the?
I'm going to try the studded chains this year. I'm going to try them all. We're going to do studded chains and see if we have better luck. I bought a couple pair last year. We'll try them. Some trucks will need tires for winter.
Before we start putting chains on them?
Huh?
Before we put chains on them, we'll put new tires on them?
No. We'll wear them out a little bit first. But what happens is they're so far down now on their tread that it'll eat into the belting, the metal belting we shown, and then not inspectable. We're going to need some plow parts. Going to make a list of plow parts. We always have some plow parts on hand. A push pole or two, shoes, nose pieces, blah blah blah. Cutting edges. There's they call it the Winter Sizzler. Fairfield emailed me prices and stuff, and I'll check with some other people before I order anything for plow parts, because sometimes different parts will vary from Tenco to Fairfield to Atlantic Road. So we'll check those out. Pull off the graph for those. And that's about it. That's about all I got. I've been trying to get ready, trying to do our last scrape, because I really don't want to scrape anymore after we get all these leaves, because then we got to start cleaning ditches pretty soon. But the roads really aren't that bad of shape for the rain that we've had for the last 2 weeks again, which kicks in the teeth.
I just have a question on the repair for T2.
Yes.
Did you take that in for, to be assessed for a trade-in?
I did.
And
the price they gave us on that truck is that price is that truck in running condition.
well, I understand that,
Yeah.
but I'm
Did you get a price? Sorry. not to
Yeah,
interrupt.
15,000. But that should have been out of paperwork.
Okay, I haven't seen the paper.
okay, so we have a firm number there.
Yes.
Do we have any idea what T2 is going to cost to repair?
I have no idea.
I
called-
two towing deals, it sounds like.
One ton.
Only one?
We towed it ourselves.
Oh, you took it,
As long as it's idle and in neutral, it's okay for the transfer case because of the oil pump. I called Brattleboro Ford. They're 2 weeks out. Well, not Brattleboro Ford, Faith Ford. And Faith Ford's also in Fall Mountain, and they couldn't do it. And so I called Twin State, and they could do it, and they're gonna buy the parts from Ford. So we have no other really options.
It's more than 100 for today. It's more than $100.
See?
It'll be well more than
It'll
that.
be like $1,000.
It'll be great, I'm sure.
What was on?
Air compressor,
Oh, right, you said that.
froze up on the air conditioner, and the pulley. Pull the wire off so I can bypass it. Okay.
It never seems to fail. Every time we go to get a new vehicle, every time something major catastrophic happens to the vehicle,
Right.
that is a trade-in. And so we're putting good money into a vehicle that we're not even going to keep, and that just bothers
That's
all new
double
glass.
bothers me.
Keep the trucks too long, and then
All new glass in the loader, you know, that kind of thing.
All
we
right.
have a schedule.
Anybody else?
The new Acton Hill ramp, the shoulders,
Yes.
they put like 10 inches of asphalt on the corner. So there's a big drop off on both sides. So if you can get those shoulders from where you put the new culvert in
Yeah.
down.
Acton Hill ramp. Anita's about it.
Yep, Anita's bottom again.
The clover leaf.
And the other thing that we had asked for are the evaluations for the
Yep.
group.
Oops. I have evaluations here. I think the price sheet is here. I did the evaluations, one more thing. And I have an opportunity for employment. And I took the job.
Okay.
So this is a letter of resignation here. It's starting on November 6th.
Okay.
Okay? And I got the reviews right here. I did not do one for Arnold.
November 6, 2018?
Yeah. I didn't do a review for Arnold because
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
with what? Yep.
No, but as soon as you got Bob and Ed.
But I'll set everything up with those guys. They know everything anyways, they're working every day, so. All right?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good night.
You too.
Thanks, Kurt.
Okay, so those are put down underneath. Okay.
Can I ask for a 1 minute recess?
Yeah, I'd like to take one. I'd really take a 5-minute break.
Put that right
Somebody
light
make
off
a-
there.
Okay, the letter that we just received from Kurt Bostrom says, "Dear Select Board members of Townsend, please accept this letter as notice of my resignation from my position as road foreman for the town of Townsend. My last day of employment will be November 6th, 2018. This was not an easy decision to make. In the past 13 years, I've met numerous people through the Public Works Department and formed great relationships with people from town. I learned new things through professional opportunities and have been through more than one natural disaster that devastated parts of the town. But we were able to fix things with the support from our community. Thank you again for the professional and personal development that the town has provided for me during the last 13 years. If I can be of any assistance during this transition, please let me know. Sincerely, Kurt Bostrom." So, I would entertain a motion to accept the resignation.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting Kurt Bostrom's resignation as road foreman, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So, I'm going to suggest then at the end of this meeting this evening, we have an executive session to discuss the potential for the hiring of a new employee. That's all right with everyone?
Yep.
All right, then moving on to, and we never did get to snow plowing, let's do snow plowing bids.
They're blowing.
Blowing.
We only have the
We're
one.
doing plowing next week.
I see, okay.
We only have the one, so I did check with, contact that Steve mentioned last time, and he's not able to do it or isn't geared up to do it. So there is just the one, which I have here somewhere.
And considering we have a difficulty right now with the little tractor, and we could have at least used it to push snow off the sidewalks, but that doesn't sound like that's a possibility.
Is that the one from?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yep.
I think it was $320, it was $80 an hour for 4 hours.
Yeah, that's
That was $320 for mowing.
Yeah, the snow
The
blowing.
snow blowing is $450.
Yeah.
right.
I think that's high.
I think one of the things we need to consider is the possibility of either replacing the tractor so that we can continue to send it
Do it
out, have
ourselves.
somebody do it.
And you have a hierarchy at the highway department to straighten out. This can be part of it.
Well, I was gonna say, it's gonna have to be part of the whole public works piece that has to be straightened out here.
Yeah.
Just hope that we don't have any weather between now and whenever.
Well, we'll put some sand down for you.
Okay. Anyway, so other than that, the town clerk, you all did receive a county money report.
Yep.
And treasurer?
Your sweep account, you have $987,096.95. Your checking account, you have 30,000 in it.
Are there any questions? Alrighty, then moving on. First thing is correspondence from Mr. Tom Chase, who's in West Townsend on Back Wyndham Road, and I just would like to read, this is a very, very long letter that does not really pertain to the majority of the issues to the select board, but I just would like to read one sentence here, and comment on it. It says the select board should get a better handle on their road town structure departments or the town is lost. Question individuals. And I just would like to point out that the select board has no oversight ability over the town departments, be it the town clerk, the town treasurer, the listers, any of those departments. They all are elected officials and pretty much their jobs are dictated by statute. So that is not something that we can, they're not our employees, let's just put it that way. And the rest of the letter, I hesitate to read. It will be available for anybody here as part of the record that wants to see it, but there's just too much profanity in it to actually read it on camera.
It's copy in the corner.
So,
Sick of hearing from that guy.
members of the public, there aren't any. Moving on to old business, the lister's assistant job description. I have not received anything. I don't know if
No,
there's,
yeah, no.
so that we still do not have an official description for what the assistant is supposed to be doing in the office. Tree cutting bids, we all have one in our box. We had one from D&E Tree for that tree at the cemetery in Wiswell. It was $22.50 from D&E, and then Rob has a few more.
I have one from Tom Bloom at $3,480. One from Jay Abishon for $3,500. And one from Stuart Rice at $2,200.
And the one we had last time?
That was all the
That was,
That was
that
all
was,
the
that was Jeff.
And the one thing that has been noted, at least on the official form that I've seen here, the road is going to have to be closed down. I should have asked the highway department if they were.
When
willing
I
to do
talked
that.
with these guys, I told each one of them that where the road is, that there's pretty much not a problem with closing it, because it's not, like everybody can access stuff from either way. So where the tree is, shouldn't be a problem to close the road for the little bit of time. You know, to have a crane sitting in it and
Right.
all of the liability of things going on. So these bids were basically taking the tree down and removing all of the brush, branches, the stem. It's cut down, cleaned up, and left with the stump.
Okay. So would anybody like to make a motion?
What was the last bid?
2,200 from Rice.
Rice.
Are we familiar with any of these companies' work?
They used to.
D&E.
Rockingham was.
Dan here was here twice last year, Rice did the year before, pretty good swath, upward 35, back and forth, 135. Abishon is local, does an awful lot of work, Bloom is local, does an awful lot of work. I don't know if either of them work for the town, but they certainly have a reputation locally.
I would move that we accept the bid from Rice at 2,200,
Not to exceed.
not to exceed.
Second.
Is there any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of, accepting the bid of Rice Tree Company for the amount not to exceed $2,200 to remove the tree over the cemetery, Wiswell Cemetery, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. So if you could let Rice know.
I'll do that.
I think Charlie would like to have it done before winter, just simply.
He said that they're somewhere around 3 to 4 weeks. I said there was kind of a push to get it done. He said he'll do his best to get it done faster.
Considering.
Bob's looked at it a number of times, he's a better tree man than I am, honestly, I don't know anything about him. And Charlie said there's no imminent issues, but the branches are huge, we get snow and ice storm, whatever, that would defeat the purpose. So yeah, if they can do it this fall, as soon as possible.
They're on the idea sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, then the town common use policy.
You all have a big packet of suggested possible cherry pick your way through it kind of stuff. And I took the liberty in the front of your mailbox, what you got tonight was not a proposal, it's just a draft of what we had before for a number of weeks or months, plus a couple things that got added in due to the pumpkin festival. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna address the pumpkin festival.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, there were a couple things that came to
That
mind
cropped
after
up.
that. Right. So I just put it out there as a working, I don't know, suggestive kind of thing that you could work your way back from, or change, or
work toward.
right. But some of the things that are in that folder that I gave you, with regard to not only town hall but also the common, have some good ideas and some good
Yeah.
language,
And I think after I've begun the process of going through the stuff in the folder from the different towns, and there's certainly ideas I would like to incorporate into that. I suggest we all take a look at that, but I just want to bring forward some of the issues that we saw with the Pumpkin Festival, and the first one being, we don't know who was responsible. We don't know, if there had been an issue, we don't know who we were to call.
Yeah.
We did not have any kind of liability insurance with those people on the common. We had vehicles all morning long in the rain driving onto the common. We had,
for-profit vendors.
well, there were for-profit vendors, but we also had, the trees were impacted. We had tents within of that little tree that was put up by the grade school, the young tree. I mean, I think we need to tighten up the policy, and it needs to be applicable to everyone about providing us with insurance, telling us who the contact person is, and making that
Exactly.
contact person responsible for carrying out any and all aspects of whatever policy we come up with.
Yeah, and
In
I
other
think
words,
that,
if you tie it to a tree, I want to know, who do I call to say, get that rope?
yeah, who do I walk out and yell at?
Exactly. And-
Yeah, I think that begins with written requests for the use of the
Oh,
common.
absolutely, a contact.
And a contract prior to use.
And I think we're looking at the same type of thing in this building, because we had an incident last week, I believe it was, that somebody used the building, we didn't even know they were using it. It didn't get put on the calendar somehow, and in the morning they came in and things had been rearranged.
Well, who's
So,
responsible for that?
well, right now the calendar's kept by the town clerk. But I don't know whether it was
Yeah.
something that actually never got run by
How did
her.
they get in here?
It was, I think it was actually on that, well, everybody's got keys. I think it actually was something on the calendar, it was just forgotten about. It was when there was somebody that was just using it for a short meeting, 7 people kind of thing, here for an hour and a half. And it wasn't a big deal, and there was very little impact, but it was something that was noticed, and we asked who was here last night, and nobody seemed to know. We had to look it up and find out. So anyway, those things need to be a little more public, a little more,
Richie.
Well, who was here?
I believe it was Wyndham Regional. I believe they had an energy meeting, one of their energy meetings.
But again, those
All right,
are,
it was the energy committee.
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
and again, that's open to the public. They're letting people know to come to our building for these meetings. We should,
We should be let
Aware.
know.
But we also, but it's not just that. We also have people that are advanced scheduling when they're going to use this building without the town knowing about it. There are blocks of bookings, so to speak, in advance all the way through Memorial Day as it stands right now that nobody in here knows about, technically. I mean, they're not official anyway. No request has been made, and even though there are publications out there that announce that, you know, on February whatever, we're going to have this event.
I also,
So those kinds of things do need to be tightened up here.
I think as,
Sorry.
go ahead.
When you say nobody knows here, in this group right here today, or that works in this building?
Well, I know it,
at all?
Steve knows it because I showed him, and Kathy knows it because she saw it also, but Valley Thrives is booked through the year for the Community Hope and Action hearing. Anita doesn't know about it. She doesn't know there was one on December 2nd.
Yeah,
I think that's an error.
Correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Valley Cares in
No,
West?
Valley Cares.
No,
It's Valley Thrives.
Valley Thrives, isn't that scheduled, like, isn't it like every Saturday or every?
Yes. It's-
It is
So,
their third Saturday.
What would be so hard to go proactive about it and be like, well, if they're gonna work it every year, contact them, or when they get contacted, be like, well, every year they do it on Saturdays, so maybe
Well, we have,
confirm that they're gonna use it on Saturday or whatever, not just be like, well,
Seems to me that the entire policy for use of the public spaces needs to be first of all, enforced, updated, and then enforced, and so that it's fair and equitable for any organization wanting to use either this building or the green
common
space. And it's, I mean, it would be great if we could get something finished before we could just roll it out for calendar year. Like up until now, it's been very, this has been our policy, and we haven't really had one that we've enforced, but just so that the people of the town are aware that beginning January 2019, here's the new rules that we're all going to play by.
Exactly.
It gives us 2 months to figure
Yeah.
out an update to a draft for the town policy,
Yep.
town common
And I
policy.
think one of those things
Figure out what we're
is
doing in this building in terms of
if we
residence
make
space.
the written request timeline such that it cannot miss a meeting. So if we make it, 20 days, 25 days, something like that, so that there's always going to be a meeting within the application time.
Yeah, whatever the
So we can
language is
review
in the
it.
policy, but do we even have one right now for use of this building?
There is.
We do, yeah, there is a rental policy for use.
The one thing that we also need to be aware of is part of that policy also has to have the rules of the use of this building in particular, just like the use of the common. We're having a tremendous amount of trouble since we just replaced the heat. We're having a tremendous amount of trouble with people propping open the fire doors, which means the upstairs is not heated. All the heat's being sucked out of here and up into the upstairs. So there needs to be a little
A checklist.
checklist of
Yep.
everything that has to be, all your responsibilities if you're renting the building.
But it goes to the same thing we were just talking about on the common. You need a manager in charge of the event, or a supervisor, an overseer, whatever.
Yeah.
Just a point person
A
who is
contact
going
person.
to be here at the end to make sure the things are cleaned up, the lights are turned out, the doors are locked.
Windows are shut.
Right, and the windows are shut, and it's not a big deal. I mean, the fire doors have been fine. I put a little note on there, sticky note, and that seems to have worked okay to keep the heat from going up the stairway. That being said, there are a number of things that need to be attended to. We need to invest a little bit in this building because it's not actually up to snuff for public use in all quarters. But anyway, that policy we need to kind of tinker with a little bit. And the common policy kind of needs to be really looked at closely. But once you have it in place, and if there's enough language in there, as there is in this draft, where it is at the board's discretion, or at the board's designee's discretion, whether it be a needer or an assistant or whatever, where you can have a person walk somebody else through.
Exactly.
We talked about a dance coming up on Friday night, and I walked that person through today, so that's some time with, and we'll check it on Saturday morning, make sure everything's okay. And, those kinds of things just need to happen. Where you have a name and a phone number, and there's an exchange of phone
Exactly,
numbers.
and there's a signed
something
contract that you have read this, you are thereby responsible. Someone is responsible.
Right, there is a checklist, basically.
It gets into, when you look at some of these policies, which I would suggest everybody do, I mean, it gets into indemnity, it gets into
Some are really-
transfer sublets, it gets into insurance, it gets into just all kinds of
Well,
detail.
yeah, I did read through all the stuff, and there's, one of the things that popped out at me is a weapons policy. We should include
We have
something.
to be very careful of that, don't even, no.
Bring everyone that you have.
You cannot have a weapons.
But the advantage, without getting that into discussion, the advantage of looking through what other people have done and have their lawyers vet is that it gives you ideas of things that you may or may not want to at least discuss for inclusion and come up with arguments for or against. We'd like to keep this as informal and as friendly and as public as possible. And yet there is a requirement on the part of management and government to make sure that things are done fairly and
Agreed.
equanimously. Did I make that up or not?
No, I think that's really where,
I got it out without thinking. It sounded
You
okay.
did well.
Equanimously, yeah.
I can think about it for a minute.
Well, yeah, I'll think about it.
All right.
Anyway, so that's just a draft.
So anyway, if you take a look at the packet and just try to come up with some ideas and make some changes where
There's some really funny ones in there too.
you feel
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yeah.
We can come back and take a look at it. The FY 19, or it should be 20.
Yeah, it should be 20. I'm not in 20 yet because it's not yet 19. We do have auditors coming tomorrow and the next day. They'll be here.
What's that
Everybody
have
wants
to
to
do with
stop
the
and
FY
shake hands.
budget?
We're looking at FYs here and I'm just thinking that.
That's
we get to sneak
18.
that in.
That's not 19, that's 18, and we're going to talk about 20. Okay, so anyway, He did, I believe in the boxes, you
Yeah,
had
yeah.
You have a budget status report, which should be current as of yesterday. You also have a new comparative, which hasn't changed since the last time I gave you one, but new one with the blank lines on the right, and those are just fill them out. The biggest one you always do generally is highway, and, well, that's kind of up in the air at the moment.
Do you think so? I don't know why. Anyway, we are going to, after our executive session, we'll at least have an idea of what we want to begin to talk about when it comes to budget. At this point, there's no point in trying to hammer our budget and stuff out. The town report composition, my son/husband suggested, and Craig has followed through with contacting the high school to see if one of their students in the IT department or in one of the classes would be interested in community service credit for putting together or compiling the town report for us. Since we produce most of the documents, they would just have to do the layout and
And the artwork.
or pictures, whatever they wanted to decide. At this point in time, we've got a preliminary, that sounds like it might be a good idea.
Sure.
So we're going to follow through. Did you ever get any?
I do actually have a meeting set up for early next week with 3 printers to discuss layout design and get bids.
Okay, well, that would be fine.
We
Yeah,
may end up, and we didn't broach it. I'm trying to set up for a future meeting and, kind of thing soon, this week, hopefully. But we may end up doing the printing. But if you have a package which is ready to go, I mean, you can email it to somebody.
Right.
Get involved in that, go pick it up and distribute it. So we may get into putting labels and things on it. But for the actual cut and paste composition,
Right.
we may be able to find somebody to actually do that without
Yeah, so as I meet with
having to go along. with it.
printers, I'll make sure that we separate out layout and just printing.
And that would be great, because that would give us something to go forward with.
If I don't remember, email me and remind me, I'll send you a copy of last year's quote, just so you have an idea of how many we printed and what it cost.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. I mean, just so that you're talking point.
Yep.
Okay, then moving on to, excuse me, to the Howard Legacy Fund. Overseer resignation. I have a letter from Karen Ellis. It says, ladies and gentlemen, this is to notify you with regret that due to health considerations, I must tender my resignation from the 2 above appointments, which would be E911 and the Howard Legacy Fund. I've contacted Alice Gausch, who has agreed to serve on the Howard Legacy Fund in my place, along with Eileen Fahey and Barbara Bedortha. Eileen has agreed to take over the management of the accounts and should be the person to whom any request for aid should be delivered. I will transfer those accounts to her as soon as possible. I was unable to secure anyone to work with Pat Jerez on E911 committee, but Charmaine Shirks has agreed to help train both Pat and my replacement as needed. Respectfully submitted, Carol J. Millis. So I would entertain a motion to regretfully accept Carol J. Millis's resignation from the E911 committee and the Howard Legacy Fund.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting Carol Millis's resignation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Would you please send out a thank you on behalf of
certainly will.
the select board for the time that she's
I certainly
put
will.
in? And would we like to, Elaine's already on Howard Legacy, so that's already an appointments in place. And we don't have anyone for E911, so it gets nobody.
There's a
to
name,
appoint.
but I don't want to make it public, so there may be somebody
Okay.
in the offing.
Somebody in the office.
That needs a suggested name, so, but I don't want to.
Okay, that'd be fine, you can bring that forward when that is made.
Do we need to appoint Alice Gauch?
No, because Alice,
Isn't she on the board?
She's agreed
oh,
to
she's
serve
agreed
with
to in her place, I
Eileen
guess she
and,
does,
yeah.
yes. I knew there was one, I need
Yeah.
to joke. So yes, I'd entertain a motion to appoint Alice Gausch to the to the Howard Legacy Fund.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of appointing Alice Gausch to the Howard Legacy Fund, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. So if you could let Alice know it's official, then. All right. And moving on to Wyndham Solid Waste Letter of Representative Appointment.
Right, and I actually don't have that letter typed up. I did receive an email from Bob Spencer, who received an email from somebody else. and it was a forward, and it simply said that Wyndham Solid Waste Management requests in April, although I don't recollect, a written letter of the representative's appointment for their files down there. Irv Stoll has served since the 1970s. Anyway, you appointed him last spring. I need to type that onto a letter, and if you guys authorize Kathy to sign it, we can get it in the mail. But somehow or other, they need to have Irv's name in writing, and they'd like an alternate representative for Wyndham Solid Waste Management. We haven't had one in a year and a half, I guess, or a year. When Dale West decided he wasn't, I guess he decided this year he wasn't gonna be on again. But anyway, at least to get Irv's name on a piece of paper and down there. If that's okay, you already made the appointment, so if I can, if it's okay with everybody, I'll have Kathy sign it. When I see her tomorrow, or Thursday, or Friday, or whenever, we'll get it out to them. We'll type something up.
If it's all right with everybody, that's fine with me.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Then the next thing on the agenda is the town hall pet policy. You all got, I think they all got copies, did they?
They got, yeah, some stuff, yeah,
Okay.
red folder stuff, yeah.
Of the federal, what's involved with the service animals from the ADA, from the Department of Justice. And we've not really fleshed this out or talked much about it because we weren't really sure what we could and could not do. And I think on this frequently asked questions, I don't know if you all got that one. It seems to be very clear that the animal has to be absolutely under control at all times. Absolutely under control.
Yeah, on a leash or under voice command.
But I would, no.
No. It has to be tethered at all times.
Unless it is part of the animal's job.
Specific
To, for example, in a PTSD case, the animal goes into the building first and then signals it's okay to come in. That animal does not have to be tethered.
Correct.
What about if you wanted to go get a drink or something?
Well, that I don't know about.
They don't work, they don't.
Get beer out of the fridge kind of thing?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, it must be tethered and under control.
So, my suggestion would be that we begin, because this needs to also be part of the town hall rental policy. Because we could get exactly the same type of a situation with a service animal during an event being held here. So my suggestion, just to put this process in motion, would be to have a very simple policy, and we'll just call it the town hall pet policy, that basically says that any service animal in the building must be restrained
At all times.
at all
Yes.
times.
No pets in the building, service animals must be restrained.
Correct.
Yes.
Something like that. A standalone policy that in a rental policy, you can just.
Reference.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
So, if everybody's okay with that, it's kind of hard to get it signed tonight. And we don't have a draft.
Can I just ask, is the issue pets in the building or is the issue service animals in the building? They're different.
But not according to the ADA. You've got service animals and you've got emotional support animals.
Correct.
Well, the ADA doesn't actually recognize emotional support animals.
Yes, they do actually, as does the airlines.
Including ducks and peacocks and squirrels and.
Little horses, little horses.
Dogs whose sole function is to provide emotional comfort or emotional support do not qualify as service animals, according to the ADA.
See, this is what I don't want to get into the middle
So
of a
we'll
federal
get
fight.
into leash.
Yep.
I think it's important. This is a place of business. We will have tomorrow at least 3 unusual individuals in this building to do the audit. I think we need to have something in place so that we can control the environment that is being worked in.
Right.
So
If there is something that comes forth tonight, I can type it and you can sign it tomorrow. Then we can put it into effect tonight, but I mean, it can be signed tomorrow.
So would someone like to put together language of a motion, and then we'll type it up and sign it tomorrow and get it posted for everyone?
Yep. I would move that we adopt a town hall animal policy wherein all animals all service animals in the building must be leashed and under their owner's control at all times.
Must be leashed and under control at all times and are not allowed to roam at large. That's coming out of someone's policy.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
We're gonna need a little repeat on that last clause
Yep.
here. Wait until I run out of volunteer. Must be leashed and under control by their owners at all times.
Did you?
Let me read it back.
Okay.
Just to make sure you get it. I'm slow at writing there. Craig's shorthand is gone. Second, Steve.
Yes.
Okay. The Senate move to adopt town hall policy wherein all service animals in the building must be leashed and under control by their owners at all times.
And are not allowed to roam at large. Was the second clause.
Okay.
And what about pets? Pets are not service animals.
Well, I think when we do the town hall policy, we're going to say pets are not allowed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Everybody okay with the language on that?
Yes.
All right, so all those in favor of passing a town hall animal policy, this is what we're calling it? Or-
Yeah.
Service
Service
animal.
animal.
Service animal policy. Judd?
So,
Okay. That restricts the animal to control of the owner and being on a leash and not allowed to roam, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So technically, that policy will be typed up in the morning and it'll be signed and posted.
Mhm.
And it will become a policy. They have 30 days
it becomes a policy immediately.
I know, but 30 days
right,
to-
30 days
appeal.
to appeal. Yeah. So, just, that'll begin, tomorrow morning will begin the 30-day appeal. Okay, we took off the health insurance plan because we need to talk about that now more than ever. Town hall rental policy, again, that's what we were kind of clumping together with, in fact, the common policy.
As I draft a talking point on the town hall policy, that was kind of a no pets clause in the building under that. Okay. Fine. I just add that in. No worries.
All right, is there any other business other than an executive session to look at the evaluations that we did receive for the highway crew, as well as to discuss where we might be going with the employment of replacement personnel? Hearing none, then I'll entertain a motion to move into executive session at 6:55 to discuss employee evaluations and the hiring of a new highway supervisor.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of going into executive session to discuss the aforementioned items signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. There will be some kind of a resolution coming out of this, I just don't know what form it's going to take.
I am gonna take a bit of notes.
Yeah,